This may seem sudden, but I feel it's something that needs to be said. A couple months back, I was having a discussion together with people like Kanyu Seiji and Solemn Vanguard, and one of the things that somehow managed to escape my fingers, I guess, was the following. In this drought period of not only stagnant meta for G, but a few months break as Standard starts up and establishes a few clans, it's up to the community leaders to promote and encourage players to take the next step into the next era of Vanguard, is what Kanyu Seiji phrased as my words. Now, I've been sitting on these words for a long time, but I felt that at the end of the day, it's something that I want to convert into a video as well and share with the rest of the world. People have been quitting the game, and there hasn't been as much effort, in my opinion, by the community to get people back into the game or get new people into the game either. There's been a lot of effort from Busho themselves as they've been setting up the caravans and going all over each continent to teach the game and get as many new people into the game, but if there's not enough community support for these events, enough people spreading the word that these events are taking place, then they won't amount to much, in my opinion. Almost every day I see in my comments people commenting, "I don't have a locals. The game is dead where I'm playing. I wish I could play the game against someone locally." Or even worse, people around me don't even want to play the game anymore. In my opinion, community leaders are needed now more than ever. A community leader doesn't have to be someone that you look up to. It can be you, it could be me, it could be anybody around you. Even if you think that you don't have the personality for it, challenge yourself and give it a try because you don't know what could come out of it. Challenge yourself out of your own love for the game. We, the current players, are the generation that grew up loving the game, and we were the ones that enjoyed the passion of Vanguard for many years. So in my opinion, it's up to us now to spread this passion that we have for the game and bring it to new people that haven't even discovered it. Think about all the people that you've met through the game, all the memories, experiences, the negative ones, the positive ones, the victories, the losses, all these memories that have been made up as you've played the game. Imagine the people that haven't even had a chance to experience this yet because maybe they don't even know that the game exists. I think by spreading the game and teaching more and more people and introducing them to it, we'll be able to bring in more and more amazing people into the community and be able to deliver an even more exciting experience to a greater amount of people. Now obviously the best way to do this in my opinion is to find out when any shop that is close to you is doing caravans. These caravan events are where Busho themselves are driving around continents, it's happening as we speak, and they essentially deliver the game to shops. They give out free start decks that new players can learn the game with, they teach the games themselves, and they help you learn it yourself together with other new players, and this way they're spreading the love of Vanguard themselves. The company is doing it. But what we need to do is inform people that they're happening. What I'm personally doing for my caravan, because believe me, my community is dead. We have 2 players. For the entirety of G, we had 2 players, and it was impossible to get people into it because it was too expensive, it was too complicated to some people, etc. But right now, the game is at a very good entry point where it's cheap. The best meta deck is like, what, 140 bucks? And even then, you can build something else for like 70 or 80, and you're gonna be competitive. If you're looking for that competitive. But you're not really even trying to push the competitive side of it, you're here to grab people into the game. You want them to attend these caravan events, to try out the game, to experience that first passion of winning or losing or whatever it may be. Maybe they'll pick up a starter deck, maybe they'll pick up a few packs, maybe they'll slowly start to enjoy the game, go to their first tournament, experience their first wins and losses, and then once they decide that maybe they want to get better, maybe they want to pick up a few new cards to enhance their deck, that's when the endless spiral of being into the game and being addicted to the game really and enjoying it to its fullest begins. So what I'm going to say now is to push your local shops to find out when their caravan dates are. If it's already passed, then ask if there's any leftover caravan decks. Don't forget that Busho went to one place, I believe it was in Chicago, where nobody showed up. There are shops where they most likely do leave their leftover start decks for other players to try out as they come in. The caravan date doesn't have to be the only time that you get people to try out the game. You can leave a few of those caravan decks, maybe take 2 of them yourself and then teach your friends the game. Even if you get 1 new person into the game, that is enough to start because that is a big first step. If that 1 new person gets into it, then they're likely to show it to another new person. If you get 2 new people into it, they're likely to show it to another 2 people. And that way it's going to keep spiraling and spiraling, and hopefully we will have our community back to what it used to be once again. But if the shop hasn't had their caravan yet, plan towards it. Invite people to come to that day, even if they've never played a card game. They're maybe not even interested in anime or anything. Just tell them, hey, do you want to check this event out on this day? It will only take like an hour at most, just give it a shot, and then maybe they'll come in and they'll find a new passion. Print flyers, advertise it in your campus, advertise it to your friends, advertise it in hobby shops, manga stores, anything that could be possibly related that might grab people into it. I'm personally going to be setting up not really a booth, but a short, small little table where me and my friend are going to be playing Vanguard with some little posters 1 week before our caravan at a gaming event, but there's also tabletop stuff obviously, but we're going to try to get those people to come next week to our caravan to learn the game and hopefully expand the community. What I've also been doing is attending Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, a game that I didn't really feel any passion for, and like I slightly feel it but not that much, for the sole sake of when they ask me, you know, where I'm from or any of my background, I can say Yu-Gi-Oh is not my main game. My main game is a thing called Vanguard, and if they've heard of it, I tell them about what it is. If they haven't, I tell them, oh, it's this amazing card game where you don't have any spells or traps or anything, but it's just all monsters, and it's really amazing. And I've already had a few people that go like, oh, that's actually interesting, and I've even had one person that after the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, we sat down and we played with trial decks, and he actually enjoyed it. So just by talking to these people and trying to push the game as much as possible, you can easily bring about a bigger community. And it doesn't have to be caravan centered either. You can just buy a couple of trial decks and then teach people as you go. You know, you can mod them, you can not mod them. As long as you have something available to instantly teach someone once they're interested, that's all it takes. And don't forget that as a community leader, you need to be present there at most times. Try to at least be at your local store like 3 out of 7 days of the week, so that you can really, like, if somebody even looks at the Vanguard section, go like, oh, I see you've been slightly interested, or something along those lines. If they have any interest, if they ask about it, just go like, oh, do you want to try the game out? You know, just give it a shot. The products are out, you can easily do this, and I think it's definitely worth a shot. Even if the person doesn't like it, at least you can go away with a fulfilling feeling of that you gave it a shot. And even if nobody gets interested, let's say you have one friend, in my case, who is still playing the game, just try to play the game with them in the shop, and eventually people will start looking around. They're gonna see these like flashy arts that take up the entire card, and all these like interesting monsters with numbers everywhere. They're probably gonna get interested, and they're probably gonna want to ask you about it. But if they don't, then just ask them yourself. Be like, oh, are you interested? Just give it a shot. Just stop the game if you need to, if it means bringing in a new player. But that's basically all I had to say. So don't forget, even if there's no caravan around you, if it already passed, there are still things you can do. If there is a caravan, advertise it the most you can. It doesn't matter if they're card game players, if they're anime fans, it doesn't matter. Just advertise the game and share Vanguard. And now it's up to you, the current community leaders as well as the community leaders of the future. You'll be the ones to take the first big step into the next generation of Vanguard. It's up to you to become the person that when a new player tells somebody else of how they learned Vanguard or who taught them Vanguard, that person will be you. I'm not gonna ask you to do anything like usual. I don't want likes or bell buttons or anything. Just please help share the game. Not only will your efforts help to give the new players a community, but it's gonna help the players that return after a break, after quitting now, a place that they can belong to once again. Thank you for watching.